fans, and welcome to the One Winged Wrestling Podcast, where two wrestling elitists discuss or review AEW events and wrestling news from around the world. At One Winged Wrestling, our motto is, we go where the elite go. I'm your host, Krishna and joining me today is Mr. Bill Cutbush. Bill, how's it going?
It is in fact going. It is going at 1,000 miles a minute, trying to get ready to fly out on Sunday. So it's always stuff to get done, always things that need doing. So running around with just like 2 minutes before I start recording, finished dinner. So there we go, all ready to watch some AEW now. How was your day?
I was good. You know, it's actually I just went outside to do some garbage, and it was actually pretty cool out there. I was like, wow, it's not like super hot out here. Yeah, no, not much. I just not much. Just worked, did some homework for a course I'm taking, and then I just jumped in. So pretty busy day, but hey, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, them's the breaks, right? Them's the
Yeah,
breaks. Yeah, so we do have our Keeping Up with the Elite segment to go through, and we've got a couple of news items tonight. I'll start with the easy ones and end
sure,
with the tough ones. How is that?
sounds good.
Yep. And before we do that, though, I just want to remind everybody how we operate here on One Winged Wrestling. We're going to, after our news items, we're going to have a quick look at tonight's Fyter Fest Night 1. We're going to talk about what we think might happen, our predictions, what we think we're going to like, what we think we might not like. We're going to go watch the show. It'll seem like we never left because suddenly we'll be back having watched Dynamite. And we'll see how well our predictions matched up with what actually happened. And most importantly, the thing we're always looking for is, does anything on Fyter Fest Night 1 reach that all-important Omega level?
Yeah, and I always ask, can a show or anything without Kenny Omega reach the Omega level? But the elite are on the show today, so I'm gonna hold my reservations there.
This is true. And speaking of the elite, we do have a quick update on Kenny Omega. This week, Tony Khan said that he is optimistic that Kenny Omega will return, but there's no timeline.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was kind of obvious, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
like, hey, he's returning
Right.
sometime soon
Someday.
in the
Yeah.
near future. So
Or
yeah,
distant future.
thanks, Tony. Thanks for that information. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah. But of course, we must keep on top of everything Kenny Omega.
That's right.
We also have an update on Bryan Danielson from Tony Khan, which is he's fine, but he's not cleared to wrestle, and he's not rushing him back.
Good. Good. That's a good thing. Like, you know, with the Adam Cole situation, his concussion seemingly like a lot worse than they expected. If
Mm-hmm.
Brian's hurt and they're just taking precautions here, yeah, why not? Remember, this guy didn't wrestle for like 3 years due to injury.
Right.
So let's not, get him to another 3 years or just end it, right? So yeah, no, good job, Tony. Let's keep it this way.
Right. Exactly. No, I agree with you. It's both these updates are kind of nothing updates, but it's good to see what Tony Khan is saying about them anyway. They're not
Mhm.
going to be rushed back. There's no timelines, etc. And no, Bryan Danielson's not even cleared to wrestle yet either. Neither one of them are. So it's going to be a while, I think, before we see either one of them on AEW television.
Yep.
Okay. So that brings us to the other piece of news we have to discuss. And this week, the Wall Street Journal made another report on continuing allegations into Vince McMahon's conduct and the investigation that is ongoing at WWE headquarters, which I want to emphasize. The investigation is about the corporate culture there as well, and not just Vince McMahon.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay.
well, which is important.
Mhm.
If you do a deep dive into these allegations, and we're not going to do a deep dive here, but if you do a deep dive, there are allegations that extend to John Laurinaitis further
Yes,
back,
yes.
lots of other people. So I wouldn't say lots, but there are a few others that have been implicated in various things. The Wall Street Journal reported that Vince McMahon now, it's reported, paid four different women a total of more than $12 million over the
Mhm.
past 16 years, essentially in exchange for their silence regarding alleged infidelity and sexual misconduct. Among these newest allegations, one of them is a former WWE wrestler who said specifically that Vince McMahon coerced her into sexual activity and then demoted her and declined to renew her contract in 2005 when she refused to engage in more sexual encounters. Um, the woman and her attorney, another woman and her attorney, reportedly negotiated a $7.5 million settlement with McMahon in 2018. And a WWE contractor in 2008 reportedly presented the company with nude photos of Vince McMahon that were sent to her and said he sexually harassed her on the job, leading to a non-disclosure agreement and $1 million payout. The earliest payout was reportedly in 2006 when a former WWE manager was given $1 million to remain silent about an alleged sexual relationship with Vince McMahon. The allegations keep piling up.
Yeah, I was listening to Jericho react to this just the other day because he was on a podcast, and they asked him this question like, do you believe what's happening right now with Vince McMahon? Like, and he said, yeah, I believe it. The way he was looking at it was in terms of, he said, well, things like this happen a lot where people have affairs and they do payouts, stuff like that. He's like, obviously Vince McMahon is in a very corporate position of power, so obviously this, if this coming to light, is not good, right? So he's like, his whole thing was like, he's not surprised any of this comes out. He said he's not surprised that other people aren't associated with this as well, right? So I mean, from Vince McMahon, I don't know how he comes back from this. To be completely honest with you, I don't see like his whole tone deaf kind of like everything came out, and then he decided to show up on Raw and SmackDown and then Raw again to kind of say, hey, everything's great. Was like, again, WWE not reading the room. Stephanie's taking over. Triple H is in charge as well. If he used if this was hush money he used out of the company, then yeah, you know what, that's not a good look. And hey, that's gonna come down to the board of directors saying, it's time for you to step down, right? But if, for example, like if he used his own money, then you're right, that is a type of culture change that needs to kind of pass through. Because look what happened in Hollywood with the whole Harvey Weinstein thing. And I'm not calling Vince McMahon Harvey Weinstein here, right? But there are some similarities, right? You can't ignore them. So it's time for Vince to move on. Now, whether or not Vince, it gets to the point where like criminal charges are pressed against Vince, now that's a totally different topic. But I do think Vince needs to step down. I don't think this company needs him anymore.
Yeah, no, I think he should have stepped down years ago. Let's
Yeah.
face it, for completely other reasons. Um, this is, and that's, there's two things here I want to talk about. The one, I heard a brilliant comment made on another podcast this week that was, if would Vince McMahon hire himself right now?
Yeah. And the answer is no. He
Right,
shouldn't
exactly.
hire. He
Exactly.
shouldn't.
Would he hire himself right now, knowing all the stuff he knows?
Yeah,
Then why is he still in his job? If
exactly.
you wouldn't hire yourself, why are you still there? Um, the other point, though, is these allegations now go beyond just consensual. That's the
Hmm.
first point.
Hmm. Hmm.
Some of these are allegations of sexual assault, and if we recall, that goes all the way back, like I said, to 1992. Um, that's a huge history of allegations, and it's not just one allegation or two
Yeah.
allegations. It's a bunch with a ton of payouts. Right, where there's smoke, there tends to be fire. Now,
Hmm.
admittedly, the investigation isn't over. We don't know the veracity of all this, but there's a lot of smoke here.
Yep.
And he's still head of creative. He's the man in charge of WWE. Even if they find wrongdoing, even if they find problems, he owns the majority shares. He doesn't have to do a darn thing, right? But the other point I want to make is a lot of the defense is, well, it was consensual and paid out, and if it came out of my own pocket, that's fine. If you look at how law works in, I believe, both Canada and the United States, I know this is the case in Canada, consent is a tricky thing. Consent in a relationship of power is not consent.
Mm.
So whether or not she agreed to it, she was working for him.
Yep.
So, I mean, it's not black and white like I just threw it out there, but there is a strong argument to be made that in a situation like that, it's probably not consent,
Yeah.
even if she said yes, because there's
Yeah.
so many other factors involved in it, right? So, this is not looking good for Vince McMahon, but the problem is I'm not so sure anybody's listening. We're talking about it. We're saying it doesn't look bad. There's a lot of press talking about it, but it doesn't seem to be grabbing the emotions of the masses. And I think part of that might be because none of the women have really put a face to themselves and come
Yeah.
out and said, this happened to me, etc. Um, that's almost, I hate to say it, but that's almost necessary for people to actually pay attention. You get into situations like this where it's just people and something happened and it's reported by the Wall Street Journal in a business newspaper and it's talked about in business circles.
Yep.
I'm not so sure there's a lot of people out there who care. Look at the reaction he's getting when he goes out on Raw and SmackDown
Yeah.
still. He's being cheered. He went to UFC on the weekend. He was cheered again. Right? People are still cheering this man. This man who, by all rights and accounts, should have stepped down from his position during the investigation. Not to mention the fact the investigation is involving the actual corporate culture there. That he is not the only one involved in this, right? Look at John Laurinaitis. I mean,
Laurinaitis.
everyone's because Vince McMahon is Vince McMahon. Everyone's talking about Vince McMahon, but John Laurinaitis has been implicated in more than one of these now as well.
Yeah. But
And
John
apparently,
Laurinaitis is gone. That's the thing, right?
yes,
He's like legit fired, right? Why is Vince not
well, he's
same
on
thing?
leave.
Yeah, well,
That's
we
not
know exact.
fired.
Yeah, we know what that means, though, right? He's on permanent leave at this point.
Well, we'll
But
see.
yeah,
Because let's face it, Vince McMahon also hires people who were found guilty of these kinds of wrongdoings at other companies. So, and let's face it, the people who air NBC Peacock had no trouble putting Vince McMahon out on the air on the programming. After
yeah,
these allegations were made, they okayed it. They didn't stop it, you know? So there's an awful lot of companies right now that are just kind of not caring that this is happening with Vince McMahon. And they're the ones with the power and they're the ones with the voice and they're saying nothing.
nothing.
The
Yeah,
only people I hear talking about this are the wrestling news channels
yep,
because
exactly.
everyone else either looks at it like, and you know who we have to blame for this? Vince McMahon himself, the circus of wrestling.
Yeah,
Because this is the man who took wrestling, which was fun and entertaining, and turned it into a sideshow, unethical, just horrendously Jerry Springer like attitude era to try to beat WCW. And he took the low road and the lowest cut. The only time I've ever stopped watching wrestling in my life because I can't stand that garbage. That's what it means to be a wrestling elitist, by the way. It's he caused it in the first place. He turned into
yeah,
a sideshow that advertisers for the long time didn't want. They've only recently been able to attract good advertising and good TV deals back. Now, what's
yep.
this going to do? You know?
Not gonna help, that's for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. So it's like, this is why I follow AEW. At least it's a
Yeah.
company I can look at and go, your ethics are decent. Look at the money they took look at the money WWE took from Saudi Arabia to go there.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I had an issue with that 4 years ago when that was going. It's what caused me to stop watching WWE. I stopped. Not to mention the fact the product's crap, but I
Oh yeah.
stopped. Anyway, this kind of stuff bothers me because it's just, I don't understand why some people can get away with it. John Laurinaitis gets sent home. Vince McMahon is still running
Yeah.
creative,
Yeah. Exactly.
right? And the fans don't seem to care. And the wrestlers are just standing there.
Yep.
No
Yep.
one's saying anything. And this has been happening, allegedly, for 20 years, 30 years. And you got to figure that's when the allegations started.
Exactly.
How much
How much
farther
longer?
back does
Yeah.
it go? Right. So, bravo to AEW for trying to create a culture where, the wrestlers actually are valued. Good on Tony Khan for that. And yuck. Anyway, that's all I got to say on it. You have anything else?
No, that's it. I think we spent enough time on Vince McMahon here.
You're probably absolutely right. I've probably ranted way too long. So yes, we have Fyter Fest Night 1 to talk about. So
Night one of
let's
four is what they're calling it.
one of four.
Yeah, because they're counting it as Fighter Fest Dynamite, then Rampage, and then Dynamite and
Oh,
Rampage next
okay, they're
week as
doing
well.
it that
So
way. Okay,
so
that's
four,
fine.
yeah.
That's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So first up, we're going to hear from Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear from Jericho all the time, right? He's ridiculous. He's turned this sports entertainment into, entertainment for us. So I just love the way that he's reinvented. He's taken what WWE takes seriously and made a complete utter joke out of it, and we love it. So I'm curious. Sometimes his promos aren't the greatest, but I'm curious to see what he has to say.
Me too. I'm all in for the Jericho Appreciation Society. They're awesome. His new
Now,
reinvention is the best.
did
So
I hear this right or something? This where the match against Kingston, and I might be hearing this wrong, but the Jericho Appreciation Society are going to be suspended above in a shark cage. Is this? Am I hearing this
I
correctly?
really that would be
Yes,
if
I
that's the
swear.
truth, that is going to be hilarious. I haven't seen that since the bad days of NXT or something. Oh wow.
Exactly. But yeah.
Okay. Speaking of shark cages,
Mhm.
that's a terrible segue into a
Mhm.
dinosaur, but Luchasaurus will be in action and Christian Cage is probably going to talk.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what Christian Cage is gonna say. Good on Luchasaurus. They give him more time to become that big monster. They didn't say who he was fighting. It's kind of odd, so I don't know. Maybe it's just a jobber, maybe, or maybe it's one of the wingmen or Dark Order or
Bear
something.
Country
Bear
and
Country. But yeah, I don't know. No, again, I'm just curious and anxious to hear what Christian Cage what's going to come out of Christian's mouth now,
oh yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm very curious about this one.
Yeah, me too. I love Christian now and Bad Luchasaurus. I'm behind Bad Luchasaurus. So Killer Dinosaur with his really mouthy mouthpiece. So yeah, I'm all in on this one too. I look forward to seeing him crush Serpentico.
True, though I think it
Yes.
would be so much funnier if Luchasaurus was kind of like well, I forget that wrestler's name, who the smart wrestler, and he would come out, Damien
Damien
Sandow.
Sandow.
Damien
Yes.
Sandow, like he's still
He's still dressed as a dinosaur. Oh my.
exactly come
I
out and
would
give some lectures, and people would boo him, and I'd love it. It'd
Oh,
be
you just
hilarious.
hit on the best gimmick ever. Please, Luchasaurus, if you're listening to this, do that. Then we have Claudio Castagnoli versus Jake Hager.
I don't know. Think about this match. I'm like I've never been a fan of Jake Hager's wrestling, and I'm not a big fan of Claudio's wrestling as well. Like I like spots he does. I like things they do, but I've never been like super like again being an elitist here. I've never been a big fan of this. So for me, I'm thinking this is going to be a good match. It's not going to be match of the night, but it won't be the worst match on the card either.
I challenge you to think of it this way.
Okay.
This is the match that they should have had in WWE at the breakup of the Real Americans.
Mm,
So it's going to be better than anything they wrestled there, I'm going to guess. So for that reason, it'll be a solid C.
exactly.
Anyway, yeah, I'm not thrilled that Jake Hager's wrestling either. Claudio Castagnoli, I've got a sneaking feeling he needs the right opponent to be really good. I
Agreed.
think he'll be
Agreed.
good here, but not really good.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to it out of curiosity, but not hype.
Yeah. Same. Same.
Speaking of not looking forward, we have the TNT Championship match. Wardlow versus Orange Cassidy.
What a weird combination of wrestlers to be fighting. Like I know the wrestlers, they all will match up with each other, but Orange Cassidy versus Wardlow, like the weight class isn't even there. Like Orange Cassidy is so fast and he's so funny. And I feel like the fan like this is the match I think the fans may be divided because they will never cheer against Orange Cassidy, right? But they'll never cheer against Wardlow either. So I feel like it's gonna be like one of those, let's go Cena, Cena sucks kind of thing, right? Where everyone's cheering for like Orange Cassidy, some people are cheering for Wardlow. Yeah, I think this is gonna be again an okay match. I'm in it for Orange Cassidy. Um, really, that's it. Like honestly, I like the weird part is I'm looking at this and I don't know if you knew this, but on Dark they had Pac's first defense. I know
Yes, yes,
on Dark they
against
had
Shoto.
Shoto, yeah, and it was really good, right? So I mean, like, but then you have Pac and Umino, whereas here
Shoto.
you have Wardlow, which we know is like, your standard WWE big guy, but yeah, he has some good moves. Like he like that's again. I always give credit. That shooting star press is one of the best they have in AEW. Like mine is Ray Phoenix and these people, but
Do you mean Senton?
did I say shooting star? Yes, sent the Swanton. Yes, Swanton bomb.
Swanton,
Yes,
we both got it wrong. All
Swanton.
right,
I
his
said shooting star press.
Swanton.
I meant
Yes,
Swanton.
and I
But
said
again,
Senton. So
I've
yeah.
talked too much about this match, and I just don't. It's not one of the top matches I'm looking forward to, and it's one of those kind of like hopefully it lasts like 5 minutes and it's done. I don't care.
Can't believe they're gonna crush Orange Cassidy.
Orange.
That's all I know is that Wardlow is going to overcome everything and destroy Orange Cassidy. He's not gonna give up the belt. He just got it.
No,
Why is Orange Cassidy the
I
first guy being
don't
fed to
know.
Wardlow? Why? Why do I have to watch Orange Cassidy of all people being fed to Wardlow?
When again, when the wingman exists, when like the Dark Order exists, when all these people who are on Dark exist, why are you feeding
Okay.
Orange Cassidy who just came back?
And he's a you got a face versus a face. Like you said, it's gonna split the crowd. Though I think it's gonna be majority Wardlow for whatever
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Why couldn't you give him a Ricky Starks? I mean,
I
wouldn't
don't
that make
know.
sense after Scorpio Sky lost the title? I mean, who's number one in the? Is it just because Orange Cassidy's number one in the rankings for the
I
TNT title? That's
guess.
gotta
I
be it, right?
guess.
It's gotta be. And hey, kudos to AEW for paying attention to that kind of stuff, because at least that's a logical reason to have this match, especially since it is a title match. But
Wins and losses matter. That's what they keep saying,
yep,
right?
and Orange Cassidy's won a fair share in the last little
Hmm.
while. But why? That's all I have to say about this match is I love you, Orange Cassidy. You are the best, and I hate to see this happen to you. Okay, then we have the AEW Interim World Championship Eliminator match. John Moxley versus Kenosuke Takeshita. If Takeshita wins, he earns a future title match.
So this is the weird part because I really want Takeshita to win this match. I think again, I think he's one of the like brightest up and coming one of the most brightest up and coming stars. Like just watching this guy wrestle, my god. Like watching him wrestle Kingston on Friday, like let's be real. Kingston like slowed that match down to its core. And Takeshita, some of the moves he was pulling off, I'm like, holy crap, this kid is good. It's gonna be more of the same here. I do feel like obviously John Moxley is a better wrestler than Eddie Kingston, so I'm not saying it's going to be like that match. I'm hoping for good things. I'm hoping for good things, but and I know Takeshi is going to be the highlight of this match, right? And part of me hopes he wins. I actually hope he wins, so that down the line he challenges for the belt, right? Do I think it's going to happen? Maybe. Hey, what's her face? Thunder Rosa lost this weekend, right? As well.
Yep.
So anything can happen. So I'm hoping Takeshita wins this match, and I think it's going to be better than most matches on the card.
Yes, I completely agree with you because John Moxley is good and I think getting better most of the time.
Mhm.
Takeshita is amazing. One of
Amazing.
the best talents I've seen on AEW in a long time.
Yeah.
Wouldn't he make an excellent addition to the Blackpool Combat Club?
Takeshita.
Yeah,
Ooh, maybe. Well, because he right now he has no voice, right? It's just he
exactly.
comes out and he just like he absolutely destroys people. That match against Hangman, whoa,
Yeah,
that match
I
was
know.
so good,
I know,
right?
right?
So yeah, maybe,
So,
maybe.
so maybe going the distance in two matches against John Moxley and beating him once, eh, could be a good membership pitch, right?
Yeah, that's true. Didn't
That's
think
my
about that.
hope for this because I think that that would actually help push him quite a bit. And
Yeah.
could you imagine a tag team with him and Wheeler Yuta?
Oof, that would
Because
be
the
good.
Blackpool Combat Club kind of needs a tag team, right?
Yes, they do. They
Right?
do.
Wheeler Yuta and Takeshita, holy
Yeah,
heck,
that
what
would
a
be pretty
tag
good.
team! So yeah, this is my hope is that that's actually where this is leading to. Um, and then of course the last match, the AEW World Tag Team Championships.
You missed one. You missed
Oh,
one.
did I?
Before we talk
Oh,
about that,
Serena Deeb and
yeah,
Anna Jay.
yeah.
Okay, yep. So at 9:30, we will be watching Serena Deeb take on Anna Jay.
So hopefully we get the Serena Deeb destruction of Anna Jay, kind of like we because Serena Deeb, hey, I'm gonna take on people, I'm gonna do those 5 minute challenge. But she's been facing a lot of nobodies recently, right? Let's
Yes.
get her back to like this dangerous kind of Bret Hart taking people out kind of persona again. And build her up a bit. Like you need a like, yeah, some of your bad guys are pretty lame AEW, especially for the women division. Let's get some real bad guys in there. Like I want to see Serena Deeb just absolutely destroy Anna Jay. Sorry, Anna Jay. Like I like you and all, but like Serena Deeb is so good. So I want to see her destroy her in like a couple minutes.
Yep.
Less than 5 minutes,
Yeah, so
hopefully.
yeah, 9:35 and we can go on to the match after that. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I agree with you. I want to see Serena Deeb dismantle Anna Jay. Just take her to town, take her apart, show why she is the person that should be set up to challenge Thunder Rosa for that title. And I
Agreed.
would really want to see a Serena Deeb title run.
Same, same, same. I 100% agree with that.
She's amazing in the ring. I love this persona. She deserves every moment of it. Let's get her there. And finally, last up, we have the AEW interim. I'm right now, right? This is the
Now
last
you're
match.
right.
Oh,
Now you're
okay,
right.
okay. The AEW interim world championship. Oh no, I'm reading that one again.
Not interim. Yeah, not interim.
The AEW World Tag Team Championships. We have Swerve in Our Glory, Keith Lee, and Swerve Strickland taking on Team Taz. Ricky. Oh, this is why Ricky Starks couldn't fight Wardlow.
That's right.
Ricky Starks and Powerhouse Hobbs facing the Elite's Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson.
Ricky Stark said that if he win, if sorry, when they win the championship, they're going to challenge FDR, right? Which is kind of good because Ricky Starks is amazing. Hobbs not that much. But let's be realistic here. This is going to be the best match of the night, or this match of the night. The Bucks are fantastic. Ricky Stark is fantastic. Swerve is amazing. Like literally, the only I consider weak link in this entire match is Hobbs because he's the I guess the freshest person. Like he's like everyone else. I think has been wrestling a lot longer than Hobbs. And I'm not saying he's bad in any way. He does his big guy role, but if you're comparing big guys between him and Keith Lee, there's no competition there. So yeah, and calling Hobbs like weak, like the weakest part is no, not it's not an insult to him. It's kind of like, hey, the guys you're in the ring with amazing. So I'm excited for this. I wonder how they're going to do this. Obviously it's not going to be tornado tag, right? Because then everyone's just gone. So I wouldn't mind a tornado tag.
What
But
Young Bucks match doesn't degenerate into a tornado tag eventually?
it eventually does. But I'm looking to see the Bucks in action again. I'm looking to see Ricky Starks shine. I'm hoping Swerve and Lee don't break up during this match. I'm really hoping they don't, because I don't see the point of putting them against each other, to be completely honest. That doesn't make any sense to me. But anyways, matches of the night, and I can't wait to see what these guys get up to.
I couldn't agree with you more. Big surprise.
Hmm.
It's a Young Bucks match, best tag team on the planet. And they're
Hands
facing,
down.
like when you say, Powerhouse Hobbs, weakest guy in the match, I agree with you. But he's good.
He's good. Yeah,
You
he's
know?
good.
Yeah, I mean, he's not slow. He's quick for a
No.
big guy. He's got a good move set. You're right. He just happens to be among this particular crowd the worst wrestler in the ring.
Yeah.
And yet a better wrestler than a lot of guys on their roster.
Yeah. Yeah.
So very good. I think this match is going to be outstanding. I think we're going to see a lot of really good moves. Because look, this is a build Fyter Fest as well, right? This is probably the main event of the night. I think it's going to be incredible. I can't wait. And like the Bucks said, a 4.5-star match for them is an off night. So this one will be 5+ because they're not having an off night
They're
tonight.
so funny. Yeah, I know. This is great. I can't wait for this match.
Yeah,
to be honest with you.
it's about time I finally have a match on the card that I am like super excited
Yeah.
to go and watch.
Agreed.
So
Agreed.
can't
Don't
wait
worry,
for this
Bill.
one.
Kenny's coming back soon. He'll be back Well, sorry. He'll be back in the near future.
Yes. No timeline.
No timeline.
Yes, exactly. But
One
speaking
day.
of timelines, we have Dynamite coming up.
Let's go.
So we are going to go watch it, but we will be back. And that was Fyter Fest Night 1. And it came to us tonight from the End Market Arena in Savannah, Georgia. And we had Taz, Tony, and Excalibur start off on the desk, and we opened up with Orange Cassidy's music. He comes out with the best friends, who I guess the tie-dye is now their thing. We get a quick promo with the best friends where they inform us that their lawyer Danhausen got the manager's licenses, so they're going to cheat a lot. They tell Orange Cassidy this, and he just responds, "I don't care." And they go out. The announcers point out that Orange Cassidy has one of the best win-loss records in AEW without ever having held a championship. And then Wardlow comes out. So we get a freshly squeezed chant to start off the match. Orange Cassidy does a beat on his chest, the soft beats. We're not talking fast. Goes for the test of strength, but then when he does that, he puts his hands in his pockets. Wardlow takes his hands out of the pockets, rips the pockets, and the crowd boos.
Yeah,
This crowd was more behind Orange Cassidy
Orange.
than Wardlow, I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, for most of the match. The best was then Wardlow took the straps down and did a big strength spot, so Orange Cassidy walked up and put his straps back up. So there was an early attempt at a power bomb by Wardlow, and this was the story of the match. Wardlow trying to get the power bomb, and Orange Cassidy finding tons of creative ways to get out of the power bomb. There was a surprising cartwheel by Wardlow at one point to get out of
Yeah.
the move. I'm glad he was practicing with the girls on the playground. Orange Cassidy had something in his eye as a distraction at one point. He was calling the ref over, like, check out my eye. Chuck Taylor then gets up on the apron with a
Chainsaw.
chainsaw. Best weapon ever. The ref tosses Chuck Taylor and Trent Beretta out, unfortunately. So then Orange Cassidy does his stuff, his soft kicks to Wardlow, but then the match starts to get a little more serious. Once Wardlow finds Danhausen under the ring, this leads to Orange Cassidy with an orange punch. He does a second one in the ring, but unfortunately Wardlow catches him, belly to belly counter. Orange Cassidy bails. So now we get into Wardlow starting to take it to Orange Cassidy. You get like a gorilla press to throw him back in the ring, delayed vertical suplex. Finally Orange Cassidy reverses it again with a chop block. He finds another reversal to the power bomb into a DDT, then a spinning DDT for a one fall. Wardlow does his F10, but that actually only leads to a near fall as well, to the shock of the announcers, but not to the shock of me. Power bomb then is countered into a Hurricane Rana, but the crowd, I think you can really hear them getting behind Orange Cassidy now because he keeps finding ways out of the power bomb, and this is inspiring the crowd, I think. But unfortunately, Orange Cassidy hits him with the Stun Dog Millionaire, an Orange Punch, and the Beach Break, all back to back. All three of his big signatures and finisher, and Wardlow kicks out at 2. The Orange Punch gets countered into a single power bomb, and 1, 2, 3. Orange Cassidy's done. Wardlow fist bumps him at the end to show respect. What'd you think of the match?
I thought this match was better than I expected it to be. Credit to AEW, they didn't have a squash match here because you don't want to squash Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy put up a lot of offense against Wardlow, and to the point where like at the end you can tell it's like Wardlow was like, okay, this guy is smaller than me. Really, he almost won. He almost won, right? So yeah, I like the end. I like. I love at the end he's helping him up, and Chuck Taylor and Trent are standing at the ring, just pointing at him, just making sure he's not gonna do anything. He's like, calm down, right? But yeah, no, I thought this match was better than I thought it was gonna be. And I thought Orange put on a great show. For what he could do, Wardlow did the same. But yeah, no, Orange, like when Orange did all his moves, I was like, oh my god, what is happening right now? And yeah, no, I thought it was a decent match. I would even say it was a solid match. I mean, this is probably, and credit goes to Orange Cassidy. This is probably one of Wardlow's better matches, if not one of his best matches, and that's all credit to Orange Cassidy. And seeing that, even though Wardlow's so much bigger than him and Orange Cassidy's so tiny, they can still put on a show. So yeah, no, I enjoyed this match.
This was Wardlow's best match.
Yeah.
Period. I actually enjoyed this match. Now, I didn't enjoy it as much as I would have had it not been Wardlow. But you
Mhm.
know what? As much as Wardlow is like this manifestation of an unbeatable thing that can kick out at one counts and always overcomes everything, including the full sequence of the guy's finishing moves, there was still enough in this match to entertain me. I loved the strap spot where
Yep.
Orange Cassidy puts his straps back up. Like, why can't more guys do this to guys who lower their straps? It's awesome. Orange Cassidy, again, you had the perfect combination of comedy and serious wrestling. You got the comedy at the beginning, and then, once they get rid of Danhausen, the match went serious.
Yeah.
From there on, the match was serious. And it was actually a good story. How is this little guy going to overcome Wardlow? How is he going to continuously get
Yeah.
away from the power bomb? And you know what? He did it for
He did.
almost the whole
Yeah.
match, right? He got caught right at the end. And you know what, too? Wardlow didn't get to show, he tried showboating at the beginning with that F10 and the sloppy, pose cover on him, and he kicked out, and Wardlow looked surprised at
Hmm.
that point. Like,
Hmm.
wait a second here, this guy can kick out of that? The story was well done. I might not have liked one of the two guys in the story, but kudos to actually telling something entertaining, giving me a good match, and actually making me go at the end, okay, you know what? I don't feel like Orange Cassidy actually lost anything. He put on a
No,
hell of a match
not at
against
all.
Wardlow here, and good job. Good
Yeah,
job.
agreed.
So, yeah,
Agreed.
I enjoyed that opener quite a bit. Then we had a quick recap of Pac's defense against Shota Umino that led to a tap out.
Which Excalibur kept saying last night on Dark, and then they show the recap and it's like last Sunday.
I
And
know, I'm Rev Pro.
and twice it happened. I'm like, I know Excalibur, I know, but no. Again, I watched the match on Dark, and yeah, it was great. It's Pac. I mean, really, like it was a good. Like, I'm glad they're doing some bigger matches on like the smaller shows, right? um and yeah, it makes sense being a YouTube video, because if you think about it, like it was on Rev Pro, like they hosted it, right?
Right.
Like I was kind of crossing my fingers hoping that my boy was gonna show up, the Rev Pro champ himself, Will
Right.
Ospreay. But you can't have everything, right? It's If I
He's
could have
kind of
everything.
busy
I
prepping for the
know,
G1.
I know. If you could have everything, you'd have Kenny Omega back. So, anyways, but yeah, no, it was a quick recap, and I'm glad they showed it, because I was like, odd they're having this on Rev Pro, because when it was where next is Pac going to defend his championship? So yeah, no, it's good.
Yes, no, it was. I actually haven't seen the match yet. I have not had a chance to watch Dark yet this week, but having seen that and the Thunder Rosa match
Hmm.
promo later, I gotta check out Dark very
Yeah,
soon because man, it looks good this week.
it was good.
So then, speaking of good, Chris Jericho comes out. The announcers mention, of course, they give the quick recap that Eddie Kingston wants a barbed wire death match with him in a shark cage with the Jericho Appreciation Society in it hanging over the ring.
Okay,
So you were right
okay.
when you mentioned that. Yep. So Jericho cuts a promo. He goes, I'm out here not as Chris Jericho, the rock star or the sports entertainer, but as Chris Jericho, the living legend, and Eddie Kingston's superior. I didn't make you a liar because you're not a liar, but you're confused. You challenged me to a barbed wire everywhere match. I love that name, barbed wire everywhere.
Everywhere.
Because blood shed will be for your friends. But let's talk about your friends. Everything you do turns to mold. You have the worst curse with your friends. Your curse with your friends is worse than anything Danhausen could conjure. He mentions all of his friends and what's happened to them all. And with Ruby Soho goes, you need to take better care of your chicks, Eddie. But why barbed wire? How many of you won? I won the first one in Canadian history at 22. I tasted the sweet sting of mother barbed wire at a young age. The pain was unbearable, but deep down it was a pleasure. You underestimate me because of my movie star good looks, but next week you're not facing Chris Jericho. You're facing the Pain Maker.
Hmm.
He's undefeated in AEW. I'm not a liar. Why am I accepting it? Because this is it. This is the final fight. Once I beat you, you can crawl back in your hole, continue your drinking, your drugging, your mental issues, and all your other excuses to cover the fact you will never be at my level ever. You want blood, you got it. The only thing that can wash away my sins is a tidal wave of your blood so large Noah would be jealous. You're not a liar, you're a loser.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, no, and I love the ending. You're not a liar. You're a loser. Um, Chris Jericho's done all he can do to hype this match up, right? Because we've seen Eddie Kingston versus Chris Jericho already. We've seen Eddie Kingston beat Chris Jericho already. I actually want Jericho to win this match, to be completely honest with you, because as he said, you're facing the Painmaker. The Painmaker has never lost, right? So I don't see why the Painmaker would lose to Eddie Kingston, but I have a feeling he is going to lose, because as Jericho said, after this, it's done. This feud is over, right? Because they're moving on to other things. I just think it's gonna be friggin' hilarious with the and we'll get to get to the promo of the Jericho Appreciation Society backstage, but the whole Jericho Appreciation Society suspended above the ring in a shark cage, and this is just poking fun once again on everything on a stick match, and like Judy Bagwell on a stick match and everything like that from WCW days. But and I love how they're incorporating this, and the fans are smart enough to understand exactly what they're doing, which makes it even funnier, right?
Hmm.
Like you look back and you're like, but these were the things they seriously did back in the Attitude Era and stuff like that. So, Chris Jericho, he normally he's pretty good at his promos, but like, he hasn't had the greatest ones recently. This one was actually really good. I like his promo here, and he's done all he can do to hype up this match.
Yep, and shout out to the AC/DC reference in the promo. If you want blood, you got it. And he said it twice. Very cool. Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good promo. I thought it did exactly what it needed to do. He's right. The Painmaker is someone very different, his New Japan character. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting match. I don't think Jericho's going to win it.
Yeah,
I think
same.
because it is the end of the feud, and
Mhm.
good storytelling, good culmination. Eddie's finally going to get his comeuppance, right? He's waited a long time for it. All of the friends have been taken down. If Jericho wins this, then what is Eddie? He really is a loser,
He
right?
really is,
So,
yeah.
so I mean, do they want to do that to Eddie
No.
Kingston? Well, I mean, Eddie's lost those kind of matches before. He lost the respect match against Claudio Castagnoli back in the day. So, who knows? But anyway, cuts to commercial, I believe, comes back with an Eddie Kingston promo, and Eddie Kingston says, "Bring your Painmaker. It's not going to matter. Look what you did to Ruby. Look what you did to Ortiz. You're going to pay with every ounce of blood. I'm going to hurt you and enjoy it. See you at barbed wire everywhere."
Yeah. I love how he opens up with, yeah, he gets 5 minutes and I get this. Okay,
Yeah,
okay. He starts,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
like,
You're right.
I know what this means. I know what that means. Um, Eddie Kingston breaking kayfabe anywhere he can. Yeah, again, the funny Eddie Kingston bits. Like, I love how he points. Look what you did to Ruby's arm. Look what you did to his head. They're just both standing there. Um, and he walks off, and they kind of like both are just still standing there as the camera cuts. So yeah, classic Eddie Kingston. But I'm
Yeah,
glad
it was great.
that they have Ortiz out there, knowing that now Santana is injured. So if he's rolling around with Eddie Kingston, hey, as long as he gets on TV, same for Ruby Soho, good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, it was fine. It was Eddie being Eddie, and it was exactly what it needed to be. And next week should be interesting.
Agreed.
Then we have Konosuke Takeshita versus John Moxley. And William Regal comes out, as he does for all the Blackpool Combat Club matches, and joins the commentary team. Regal notes that he's happy as a clown seeing two true warriors with fighting spirit. Oh, Regal. He knows this could be a trap for Mox, though, due to Rose's loss on Dark. But it opens up with a good back and forth. They ram into each other a few times. There's a good chop exchange early on. Mox ends up downing him with a lariat, goes into a pile driver for a near fall. Takeshita. It's interesting too because Regal mentioned during this match that Takeshita always watches the Blackpool Combat Club
Training.
train,
Yeah.
right? And I thought that was a very interesting comment. Takeshita blocks a pile driver on the apron, turns it into a German suplex to Mox on the apron. But Mox ends up booting Takeshita, poses on the turnbuckle for the good part of the beginning of the commercial for whatever reason. It's not too often Mox just stops a
Mhm.
match and goes and poses. Um, Takeshita during the commercial break gets cut open by a kick to the face, so he's got the blood mask going on. He gets worked over a lot during the commercial, including ends up stomping his head in the ring. Takeshita comes back with a leaping T line. The speed of that leaping T line was insane. And Rico keeps talking about Takeshita all through the all through the match as something special. Takeshita does a sheer drop brainbuster for a near fall, goes to the top rope, but then eats some knees. And Mox gets the near fall from that. Rear choke to a Juji Gatami. Yeah, Juji Gatami. But Takeshita rolls into the ropes, forcing a break. There's a "This is awesome" chant at this point. The standing Hurricane Rana to Mox. Huge leap over the ropes onto Mox by Takeshita. Frog splash into the ring for a huge near fall. The crowd kind of bit on that one after that sequence. Mox then had a flurry of elbows and back and forth elbows between the two of them. Mox gets a sleeper, but Takeshita counters it into a blue thunder bomb for a near fall. Um, paradigm shift into the hammer and amber elbows, but Takeshita counters again. At this point, the crowd is going like
Hmm.
getting really ramped up behind Takeshita. Rolling elbow strike to German with a pin and a huge near fall that the crowd really bid on. A bunch of headbutts then from Mox to Takeshita into the Death Rider, hammer and hammer elbows, bulldog choke, Takeshita taps. What did you think?
This is awesome. This was the match where I was like, man, I hope it doesn't steal the match of the night. Because I had that obviously reserved for the Bucks. And it came close, and I have to give full credit again to the guy I called out from the beginning, Takeshita. Kenosuke Takeshita is absolutely amazing. And I'm no longer thinking that, you know what, maybe it was Hangman Page. Maybe it was like, no. This kid is way beyond his age right now. And I cannot believe what we're watching here, right? We're seeing I'm happy to say, we've seen such great young talent in AEW. And I'm happy to say, like, I was cheering on Takeshita from the beginning. Every time I knew he wasn't going to win this match, I was kind of hoping maybe it's because it's not a title shot. Like, maybe he's going to earn that title shot. But I guess at the end, he earns Moxley's respect. Listen, Mox, at this point, you earned what's called Takeshita's respect. All right. That's what the level I'm putting this kid on. I don't see a down for this kid. I don't see it down. I'm like, one of my dream matches now is I want to see Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. I would love to see that match go down because Takeshita is so big and he's so fast. I like those reversals. That was the Brainbuster that he did. Holy crap, that came out of nowhere, right? I was like, okay, maybe they're gonna do it. Maybe AEW is gonna let this kid win, right? Stop burying this kid. Okay, why are you putting him up against Eddie Kingston and John Moxley? Feed him some people to like destroy. I'm sick and tired of this kid like only winning matches on
Oh,
Dark.
I would hardly call this a burial.
It's not, no, not a bureau. I'm saying give him some wins. Give him some wins. Yeah, you're building him up. Give him some wins. Give him somebody else, right? Again, you're not going to beat Eddie Kingston because Kingston's going to face Jericho. You're not going to beat Mox because Mox is the champion. Okay, fine. There are a lot of other really good wrestlers, like for example, Adam Page, which I think is still the best match I've seen Takeshita in, was him versus Page. Regardless, I love this match. I love Takeshita. And again, I'm giving all credit. I know you're you're saying it's John Moxley help. He did his thing. I'm giving full marks to Takeshita here. It's almost my match of the night. It is second best match on the card right now, right? And it was very, very close to stealing that match of the night for me.
You are correct, sir. It is close to stealing match of the night. I loved this match. I loved both people in this match. It
Fair.
took both of them to tell the story because it was a story of an underdog and it was told really, really well. Because let's face it, Takeshita come in and as good as he is, he's against John Moxley and you're an underdog against John Moxley because we know he's tough. And we know I loved the opening sequence because again, we saw John Moxley pulling out some wrestling, right? We saw
Yeah.
a lot of reversals and other stuff in this match too, also from Mox. Like he was doing some good technical stuff here too, and in his John Moxley fashion. We're not talking, Brian Danielson or anything, but there was some good stuff,
Yeah.
right? And they worked each other over. And when Mox got the upper hand, he was brutal, right? And that's exactly who he's supposed to be. He's
Mhm.
brutal. He's John Moxley. That's his role in the Blackpool Combat Club. He knows his role. He plays it well, but he's upped his game since he's come back healthy, right? Like since he's come back from rehab, I've seen him, he's doing a better job in the ring. His wrestling has actually gone up a notch. So I was impressed with him in this match. Takeshita is just, I mean, everything you said about Takeshita, 100%. The guy is phenomenal. He's fast. He's so fast, right? His moves are so good. But pointing out, he's had 10 years of experience. The guy started in the ring when he was 16, they were
Oh
saying
my god.
today, right? Like the commentators mentioned that during the match today, that he started when he was 16. He's only 26, but he's been wrestling for 10 years.
Wow.
So yeah, no, this match was great. I love the story. The outcome expected, yes, but you know what? I was biting on some of those near falls a bit too
Mhm.
because I'm like, he could have legitimately won this match because it
Yeah.
wasn't going to cost Mox the
No,
championship.
it wasn't.
So, so the sequences great, the moves great. I want to see these guys go at it again. I want to see Takeshita take on anybody. Just give me more Takeshita, right? And like this did nothing to hurt him and did everything to help him. So a match like this against John Moxley, Great. And I think one step closer to my Takeshita Yuta Dream Tag Team. So, anyway, yes. So then we have the Black Room, and out steps Julia Hart, who says, you know, you're free to make your choice, but that doesn't mean you're free from the consequences of that choice. She's clearly been listening to me talk because that's clearly out of my playbook. Anyway, then Brody King says, I didn't need your praise to be told what I earned. For years I've watched you ascend. I'm getting mine by taking yours.
Yeah. And Malachi Black was there too. The only thing I was confused about, I was like, where's what's his name?
Buddy,
Buddy. Where's Buddy Matthews?
he's
Poly
injured.
Wrestling. Oh, that's right. He is injured.
He has a shoulder injury.
Oh yeah. Because I was like, oh, there. I'm like, there's Julia Hart, cool. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, there's Malachi, cool.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's Brody King. I'm like, wait, where's Buddy Matthews? I'm looking in the background. Is he in the back? Is he in the darkness right now?
I know, right?
But again, Blackpool, the House of Black, they're always awesome. Their promos are fantastic. I love that they do everything in the shadows, and I'm glad they're using Julia Hart now. She
Yeah.
wrestled on Dark yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. I'm trying to figure out if it was Dark or Elevation, but she wrestled on one of those shows, and she came out to the House of Black music and everything like that. So that was kind of cool. So and she has like she's just all black. It just suits her so well. And you could tell she's learning a lot from these guys. But yeah, I thought this was a great. And again, they're talking to Darby Allin, so I'm like,
Yes.
and I love how they keep showing the choke out by Brody King on Darby Allin, because when you revisit that segment, it's a dangerous segment. He's hanging there,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like his arms are just down, and King is holding him probably by his neck, but also by his back a little bit. So points for Brody King on that. But man, it looked crazy the way. And then they
Yep.
show a little segment where he was getting Brody King attacked, apparently Darby Allin at that fan event
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
and absolutely just
It was on the
destroyed him. Like,
weekend.
Darby Allin, stop. Just stop it, Darby. I get it. You're tough, man. Just stop. You're hurting me every time you're doing these things are happening to you, right?
Yep.
Um, did I think I wanted to see Darby Allin versus Brody King? No, never. But hey, you know what? I am willing, because I know Darby Allin. The thing about him is he's gonna throw everything he can at King, right?
Yep.
So yeah, so I'm good promo. I like the promo.
Yeah. The only thing I'll add to what you said is I thought Julia Hart actually sounded really good.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Yeah, and that kind of impressed me because you know her promos when she was with the Varsity Blondes were pretty typical fare, right? Like there was nothing stand out about them. But this, I thought she delivered the couple lines she had really effectively. So you know, it's good. I'm hoping her getting to hang out with someone like Malachi Black and watch how he works cutting promos. Maybe that'll have an effect on her. You know, help her learn.
But you listen to these promos, and everyone is new, and well, not new. I shouldn't say that they're new. Like
Hmm.
I can't really speak for Brody King. I know that
He's been around a long time.
that Julia is new, but you have to just the gravity
Hmm.
of Malachi speaking.
Right.
Nothing can match that. It's
No.
it's him, and it's Miro. Just the way these two guys speak. I can't even compare it to anybody else. But anyways, that's me getting off topic. But yeah, it was a good promo.
Yeah, it's true. And speaking of guys that can speak, Christian comes out. Did you notice his new Jumbotron?
I saw Countdown.
Well,
That's
it
it.
counts down. Remember how it used to say out, works,
Yeah,
everyone.
it said
Now it
worked.
says worked,
Worked everyone.
everyone.
Yeah. I saw that. I saw that. I was like, did it say outworked everyone? I'm so confused, right? Then
Yeah.
you're right. It does
No,
say
it just
worked.
said worked everyone. Yeah, and I laughed. And then Luchasaurus came out. And then
You mean
Christian,
Kane? You mean
yes,
Kane came out
Kane came out.
with his
Yes.
new entrance? I was like,
Yes, with his new entrance music
and pyro and everything. I'm
and
like, is this
yes.
Kane coming out here?
It's quite
All right.
possible. It's quite possible. I still I like your I'm never gonna like this gimmick as much now because I want the Damian Sandow thing with him more. Like that's I want that Luchasaurus bad. Anyway,
Just come out and lecture everyone.
I would die. It would be so good. Dinosaur with a master's degree. Do it. Anyway, so Christian goes, look, I don't know either of like the varsity blondes already in the ring. And he goes, I don't know either of you from Adam, but something I find annoying about the varsity blondes. Pillman, your stupid mullet fits in with the imbeciles here in Georgia. Just like Jungle Boy, you had a father, but your father was a legend in this business. But that's other people's words. To me, he was average at best. He wasn't a legend like me. I respect the fact, though, that he spilled his blood, sweat, and tears in that ring. He'd be appalled knowing his final contribution to this business was you. And Griff, you went on social media this week and you posted this picture, and he puts the picture up on the Jumbotron, and it's like he goes, and it's Griff Garrison posing with like tropical trees in the background with his hair down, and Christian goes, "Oh, the hair, the physique. Hey, Luchasaurus, doesn't Griff Garrison look kind of like Jungle Boy here?" So then Luchasaurus walks to the ring, and the match starts. Before I get to the match, what did you think of the promo?
I thought it was funny. Like when he said Adam,
Hmm.
was he talking about Edge? He
No, no, no. No, that's an expression. I don't know either of you from Adam. It's just an old
Oh, I
expression.
never
It
heard,
just
never
means,
heard that.
yeah, I don't, meaning Adam, like from the Adam and Eve
Oh,
story.
okay.
It's, yeah, I don't know either of you from Adam, meaning I have no idea who you are.
Oh, and I like the fact, obviously he's saying things that just riling up the crowd and stuff like that. I thought it was funny when they posted Griff's picture, because all I could think about was on being the elite when John Silver and his tag team partner were recruiting for the Dark Order, and they went out and they're like, we got Jungle Boy, and they had him, and they were like, that's not Jungle Boy. And it was Griff Garrison. so, so I love even if it wasn't meant to be a callback to that, it was. I
Yeah.
couldn't stop laughing when I saw it. But yeah, the promo was fine. Like this is like hearing from Christian every week now is just a treat for everyone, because he's the biggest heel, right?
Hmm.
He's so funny. And I love when Luchasaurus is walking to the ring, and his graphic said wrecked Matt Hardy and someone else in the past 2 weeks. So I'm like, graphics guy, good job.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly.
no, it was a good promo. Like, you obviously they keep saying, that Christian has Luchasaurus, under his spell, and he's living
Yeah.
rent free, and for that. But yeah, you know what? I mean, when Jungle Boy does get healthy and he's back, I would love to hear the reasoning that Christian gave to Luchasaurus. It can't just be this guy has been taking advantage. Christian will come up with something. But yeah, no, the segment was fantastic.
Gore was right.
Gore was right,
Yep.
exactly.
So anyway, Luchasaurus gets to the ring. He picks up Griff Garrison. German. Griff Garrison bails outside, but Luchasaurus follows him. Boot to the face against the ring post. Choke slam. Christian calls for another. Tar pit submission. And Griff Garrison taps
Done.
out in an extremely fast squash match. After the match, they clear the table off, or Luchasaurus clears off the what do you call it? The ring bell table, the
The
timekeeper's
belt, yeah,
table. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Of course, Brian Pillman tries to interfere, but headbutt choke slam Griff Garrison onto Brian Pillman on the table, and the table
It
doesn't break.
doesn't break.
So he does it again, and
Yeah.
this time the table breaks.
Yeah, it looked painful. It just looked painful. Like when he
Mhm.
did the first time and it kind of didn't break, you could tell Pillman just didn't know what to do. He just pretending like he was hurt. And then he picked up Garrison again. I'm like, oh, not again. And he does it the second time. I'm like, oh, that one definitely hurt. But yeah, good, good squash. It needed what it did what it needed to do. Like, again, these are the guys I want Takeshita to be fighting. But like, this was a great squash match. This was a great squash match, and it's just building up this Luchasaurus, like this bad Luchasaurus character, with obviously his manager, I guess, Christian. So yeah, it was, it was fast, it was fun, and it was over really quick. So not really much I can complain about here.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. It was fine. It was exactly
Mhm.
what it needed to do. It moved Luchasaurus along. It gave Christian another promo to cut, and it fed a couple guys to Luchasaurus. So,
Agreed.
yep. And AW, please continue to work on your tables. We
I
have
know.
seen, I don't know how many tables we've seen this year not break, but
Yep.
seriously, guys, get better tables. So then we go in the back and we see Danny Magic with his tag team partner whose name I can never remember on the spur of the
Cool,
moment.
cool hand, Angelo Parker.
Angelo Parker, thank you.
And
And of course, Daniel Garcia. And
Danny,
there's the
yeah.
three of them, and they're upset because they're going to be put in a shark cage. They're very upset. They've had enough of cages. Danny Magic wants Ortiz in a cage, and Daniel Garcia wants to know why he's in the shark cage.
Yeah.
So they're all quite mad. Two of them leave, but then Daniel Garcia stays by himself, and he calls out Wheeler Yuta, going, "Yeah, you're just scared of me. That's why you want me in the shark cage. You've been doing Daniel Garcia cosplay for 6 months. You want to take my identity? I'll take your pure title at Death Before Dishonor."
Yeah. I thought this was a hilarious segment. Just Daddy Magic. How high is the shark cage? How high is it? And Tony Schiavone, I don't know. Why don't you know this, Schiavone? Why don't you know this? And Angelo Parker. Okay, and where Kingston's goon's gonna be? Just running around outside? Like, that's not fair.
Yeah, it was hilarious. So these guys are
How
so
high is it?
good. Yeah.
How high is it? He's looking. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you can tell he's scared.
Mm.
But no, that was funny. Plus the Garcia little challenge there. Again, I love Danny Garcia. I actually like him a lot better than Yuta. I'm not gonna lie. Like we saw Danny Garcia live. Didn't even realize that was Danny. This was the same Danny Garcia. And this guy is awesome. This guy is absolutely fantastic. Like, he is almost the equivalent of like the Serena Deeb on the male side here. Like, the way he applies these locks and these holds and these reversals. Like, if he was part of the Blackpool Combat Club, I wouldn't be surprised. But the thing is, he is perfect where he is right now.
Mhm.
He is absolutely perfect where he is. So I'm happy about that. Great, funny segment. So yeah, I had no complaints here.
Yeah, no, it's funny because the Jericho Appreciation Society, it's not just Chris Jericho. He needs these guys. I mean,
Yes.
Danny Magic is ridiculous, like over the top ridiculous. Right, and
Do I
Angelo
taste?
Parker. I mean, they make such a good pair. Him with that switchblade comb. I mean, they're amazing. I love everything these guys do. Daniel Garcia is just such a good member of this team. He's exactly where he needs to be. But I also loved his serious call out of Wheeler Yuta, and in
Mhm.
a pure title match, like for the Ring of Honor Pure Championship, that's going to be a hell of a match.
Mhm.
Right. I mean, somehow or other, I'm gonna have to find that because on the 22nd, I will be on a plane. So,
Yeah.
yeah, good times. So that was that, and I would, out of all the matches I've heard announced for Death Before Dishonor, that's the one I would want to see the
Mhm.
most.
Mhm.
And speaking of events, they then announced that All Out will be in Chicago on Sunday, September the 4th.
Oh my God! Big surprise. Besides the huge banner we saw last week
Oh,
hanging in the
exactly.
rafters.
Yeah, and the fact that they've listed this as the pay-per-view date for like, a month
I
online, but
know. I know. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. Again, every pay-per-view upcoming, I'm just gonna hope that's gonna be the reappearance of Kenny Omega. So, I wish he was here earlier. So
I know, but we'll be getting to that. Then we have Adam Page. He's in the back in his tie-dye shirt. He didn't win the Battle Royal, but then we have John Silver and
John
Alex
Silver.
Reynolds, Dark Order. They come into the back with him, and they're like, "We're fuming. They're
We're
really
pissed off.
mad. They're pissed off. They're pissed off at the House of Black, and they want to challenge the House of
Ooh,
Black, but they want
yeah.
Adam Page on their team. Page agrees, and so we're gonna have Dark Order versus House of Black on Rampage.
So this is where I was confused. Is Adam Page on their team? Because when John Silver said we're gonna challenge them, we're gonna get them, like, Page was kind of like, okay, go do it, right? And the reason I'm saying that is because what you just said, that Buddy Matthews is injured. So I'm thinking it's gonna just be Silver and Reynolds versus Malachi and King.
You could be completely correct. Yeah.
Right? Because the way that Hangman kind of said it, because remember, Hangman's like, I lost, and he wasn't really upset about it, but they came in like John Silver. I don't know how he keeps himself from not laughing, but he's just coming in and he's all hot, and he challenges them. He's like, no, we're gonna lay down the challenge to the House of Black. So, and from the expression I got from Paige, he was like, okay, well, thanks guys, kind of Go ahead. Like,
I think you're right. I think you're right because I had taken it as okay, yeah, sure, I'll help you guys out. But then no, you're right because with Buddy Matthews injured, what is he going to fight Julia Hart? Like it's
exactly.
you're right. So yeah, it's got to be just the two of them versus the.
Yeah.
I'm less interested in that match because that'll just be the House of Black destroying the two of
Destroy.
them. So yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, with Adam Page in the corner, maybe something will happen.
You never know.
Never know. So I mean, someone's got to neutralize Julia Hart, right? So might as well be Adam Page. He can beat up 20-year-old women. That's good job. Though they might beat him up, you never know.
That's true.
So it is now 9 o'clock. So JR comes out. He joins the booth, and we lead off the 9 o'clock hour with Jake Hager versus Claudio Castagnoli. And, Claudio gets out early with an elbow counter to a gotch, tries to attempt the swing, but Jake Hager manages to get out of all of it. There is a "We the People" chant for a bit, but it dies off fast, and neither Hager nor Claudio really acknowledge it. Hager gets to Claudio on the outside. Then inside we've got a swagger bomb that gets a Hager bomb that gets countered, but then countered again into an ankle lock. Tiger feint kick to Jake Hager for the 2 count. A Tiger feint kick, for those of you who've only ever watched WWE, is a 619. And Claudio Castagnoli doing a 619 was pretty cool. The announcers note they've had 12 career singles matches, which is significant because they're counting their matches in WWE. So Hager catches Claudio on top. There's a slam. He works over Claudio for the whole commercial break. There's a lot of that, like the working over back and forth. Claudio finally counters him with a springboard uppercut. I also of note, Claudio did an amazing deadlift suplex during the break. It was hard to see because it was really his only moment of offense, more or less, during the entire commercial break. But anyway, Claudio then gets in an uppercut sequence into a really nice looking standing drop kick. Finally gets the giant swing on it, transitions it into the sharpshooter that they're calling the Scorpion Deathlock because I guess Sting is on their television and Bret Hart is not. Hager summons Matt Menard and Angelo Parker down now at this point. They form a distraction and it's just a 2 count. Then there's another ankle lock, but Claudio up kicks out of it. He goes for the sharpshooter again, another distraction, but it doesn't work either. And so then Claudio does one of his launching uppercuts, Ricola Bomb, for the 3 count, match over.
Yeah, this match was actually better than I thought. Like these guys obviously working together as much as they did. It was a better match to me. Claudio with those running like uppercut things he does. My God, it's like he's gonna take someone's head off with that stuff. I thought it's been a while since I've seen Jake Hager wrestle. Besides like his tag team stuff like that he's been doing. So it's good to see him wrestling a tag as a singles match now. But yeah, no, this match I have no complaints. I thought it was entertaining, right? Seeing Daddy Magic and Ange come out. It's always entertaining with those guys. But yeah, no, it was good. Like I mean, Jake Hager losing, like it doesn't hurt him in any way because like it's expected. You really can't have Claudio come in and start losing matches left, right, and center. He is part of the Blackpool Combat Club. But yeah, no, I thought this match was good. I enjoyed it more than I thought I was going to enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it was solid. It was a good match. There was nothing particularly to dislike about it. I mean, the commercial break was a little bit slow, but I mean, they've been doing that on commercial breaks, I've noticed. There's like not a lot
Just slowing
happening.
down now, yeah.
Yeah, unless of course it's Takeshita getting his head cut open. But other than that, it's definitely slowed down during some of the commercial breaks. But no, it was good. There was a lot of hard-hitting moves. These guys, they work well together. Obviously, they're familiar with each other. Those uppercuts, like you said, they're insane. Solid match. I enjoyed it. It's not what I'm necessarily going to remember at the end of the year or anything like that, but you know what? Good, solid Dynamite match to fill in some time and entertain me. So good job, guys. Yep. Then we go in the back and there's a Hook promo. He's asked by the interviewer whose name I could always forget.
Is it Alex Marvez?
No, it's not Alex. It's the girl. It's the woman.
Oh, I can't remember her name.
I can't remember her name either. So she just says to him, Is there a title shot in your future, Hook? You've been undefeated for a long time. Hook just looks at her and walks off.
I don't get these promos. I really don't understand. Like, what is it trying to build? Like, what exactly is building? Who's Hook feuding with right now? I'm just confused
Mm,
every time. I'm
the
just confused.
announcers?
I guess maybe he's gonna start beating up the announcers. But yeah, no, I don't get this promo.
No, I don't get it. He it seemed like he wanted to beat up Alex Marvez once, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna give this promo about as much attention as I like to give Hook, which is none. So, um, then we moved on to a match recap of Thunder Rosa's match in Japan against Yamashita. I
Hmm.
believe that's how you pronounce her name. Um, and they note that Yamashita got her on that roll up. And then we go in the back and we've got Thunderstorm together. Rosa mentions that that match was a banger. She was sad because she couldn't get the win, but she was very excited last week to tag with her girl Tony. They'll take on anyone. So what'd you think of the promo up to this point before we get to the second half?
No, standard Thunder Rosa promo, kind of boring, kind of flat. Like I don't know what else to say about her. Like maybe she needs a manager to come in and help her here, but I don't know. Like the thing is, like I mean, yeah, yeah, she's saying, oh, she didn't, she was upset she didn't win, blah, blah. The match was pretty good. I watched it. It was pretty actually a pretty good match. But yeah, no, right here, as usual. Oh, we're Thunderstorm. We're whatever. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
sure.
But then, fortunately, Britt Baker walks in with Jamie Hayter, and she goes, we've heard enough Thunder Rosa for the decade. We're back. This place is a disaster without me. Oh, Thunderstorm, that's so cute. But Jamie and I are well aware of the flooding, destruction, and carnage that thunderstorms cause. Then Jamie Hayter says, we're very well versed in handling a thunderstorm. And then Rebel walks in, brings in a sandbag, and hands it to Tony Schiavone.
Yeah, yeah.
They're like, here, hold this.
Such a weird promo. Like the entire thing is weird. It's kind of like, okay, so I guess we're gonna go tag team challenging now for these two or these four. Yeah, Brit's been missed. I mean, it's not a surprise that her come back. You're like, oh crap, Brit's back. Good, 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 right? Because when Brit went missing, the entire faction went missing as well, right? So like, okay, sure. So yeah, no, it's good to have Brit back. I kind of wish the promos were better because they kind of suck. But hey, what are you gonna do? I mean, Thunder Rosa, she just needs to stop talking. Just that's all. Just don't talk. Just go in and have a match. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, Britt Baker's delivery is great, and some of her lines are good. But I don't know what it is sometimes with some of her promos and the material she puts in them. I
I
mean,
don't
this
know.
whole stuff about thunderstorms, I mean, in the sandbag, I don't get it.
Well,
Why
yeah,
did they give Tony Schiavone a
because I don't
sandbag?
know. I mean, I get the premise of when when they're like those
Oh yeah.
gigantic floods,
Well,
like
of course. Yeah, no,
sandbags.
I understand why there's a sandbag,
But I'm like,
but
I didn't
why?
understand. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that was the thing is that okay, I get that a sandbag stops a thunderstorm, but I didn't understand like okay, so clobber them with the sandbag.
Yeah, yeah.
That would have made more sense. We're going to stop you with a sandbag to the
I don't know.
face. But no, they just hand it to Tony Schiavone. Here, hold this. Okay. Anyway, 9:19 p.m., which means it's early, and it also means they're adding extra time to the main event.
Hmm.
We have the women's match. We have Serena Deeb come out, and she's taking on Anna Jay of the Dark Order. Serena looks very smug on her way to the ring. They note, though, that Anna Jay is from Brunswick, Georgia. She is in her neighborhood in Savannah. Her family is there as well, which immediately got me going, ooh, mm-mm. So there's a good exchange of holds to start it off. There was a flatliner by Anna Jay, and then Serena into a submission that gets reversed into a pinfall. There was a lot of that, the kind of reversals and back and forths. Anna gets a Queen Slayer on early, but there's a rope break, twisting neck breaker for a 2 count. Deep at one point, right after the commercial started, she pretended to dive to the outside, stops, and just casually gets out of the ring. I thought that was great. She takes Anna apart during the commercial break, right? She does a leg lock. Did you catch that one where she had the leg lock on her and then does the Dark Order sign?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh
No, I
yeah, well
missed that.
she's got Anna down and she's like mocking the Dark Order. She puts a straight jacket hold on, but Anna Jay ends up coming back. There's a solid kick in the corner, a release Northern Light suplex into the Queen Slayer, but that gets reversed into a pin. There's spins. Then they do this kind of like thing where they're constantly rolling over each other
Yeah, I
standing.
didn't understand that one.
Oh no, it
Anyways,
was it. Well, I mean, the announcers did a good job explaining it. It was disorienting her, right?
Yeah.
and it managed to get her into a pile driver, but then into some more reversals and into a submission hold again by Deeb, who Anna then manages to roll it into a pin. Anna does a short arm kick, but then Deeb gets her with that wicked looking dragon screw in the corner.
Mhm.
Anna gets her into the Queen Slayer on the floor, and the crowd's going nuts at this point because they're seeing this now as a real chance for her to actually get Serena Deeb to tap. But they struggle, and there's she gets the an arm drag out of it. Um, then a Serenity lock onto Anna Jay, and she taps to massive boos from the crowd. But Serena Deeb keeps the hold on. Mercedes Martinez interrupts and rescues Anna Jay.
Yeah. So this match, I get it. Anna Jay is kind of hometown, so let it go on a lot longer than it probably should have gone on. Um, Again, you see the quality, right? You see what years of wrestling versus not that long of wrestling can do to you. And now I'm not saying Anna Jay is bad. I'm saying she's getting better. Like I have to say that match, her and Ty and the bunny and I'm forgetting her name now. That kind of street fight they had, that was
Penelope
Penelope
Cruz.
Cruz, a Cruz, Penelope
Cruz.
Ford, Penelope Ford. They had
Penelope
well,
Cruz.
that street fight they had was brutal, and it was bloody, and it was awesome. Um, but when it comes down to just pure mat wrestling, she can't roll with Deeb. And I don't know who in the women's division can actually roll with Serena Deeb. Like, that's me just being completely honest. So it did its job. It gave Anna Jay a push. This doesn't hurt Anna Jay. She lost to the best, Serena Deeb. Like, let's be real here, right? What it did do, though, is something I didn't think I wanted. Now I know I want. I want Serena Deeb to take that belt away from Mercedes Martinez, because I said from the beginning she needs a belt. She needs something to rub into people's face. Give her the Ring of Honor belt. Give her that belt. Let her destroy Mercedes Martinez. Let her take that belt. Just seeing or thinking about Serena Deeb with a belt like that, it's that's what we like. I didn't even know I wanted that. I want that badly now. I want her to face off at Death Before Dishonor. I want her to win that belt.
I'd be completely happy with that. I want Serena Deeb to become the women's belt
I
collector.
know.
That would be
Oh
pretty
yeah,
great.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay.
Yeah, because I mean, we have so many belts now that you can be a belt collector. You know who else I'd like her to beat? Jade Cargill.
Yes, everyone just beat everyone.
I know. I just want Serena Deeb to beat everyone who is currently holding a title in AEW on the women's side and just collect them all. That would
Yep.
be pretty great. You know, um, I was pretty impressed with Anna Jay in this match. I expected her to be worse than she was, and she wasn't
Got
bad
it.
at all. I know some of that is Deeb, and wrestling with Deeb can make anyone look good, but
Mhm.
she's come a long way. And the announcers pointed that out too
Yeah,
during the
JR said
match,
it.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, JR said it. And like she's doing moves she wouldn't have done months
Mhm.
ago. And it's true. Because I remember watching her months ago and going, oh, she looks kind of stuttery and stuff. A lot of that's gone. And that's not something that Serena Deeb can fix by carrying her in a match, right? And her transitions were pretty darn good. And she did a lot of good roll ups and a lot of counters. And they looked maybe not as smooth as something Deeb does, of course. And I mean, that's going to be very hard because we're talking about, like you mentioned, one of the best women's wrestlers on the
Mhm.
planet,
Mhm.
essentially, right? Um, but she was good, you know, and I like that because it is one of the better women's matches we've had on AEW
Yeah.
in a while. I thought it was well wrestled. There was a lot of good counters. There was a good underdog story from Anna Jay. She that spot where she had the Queen Slayer on at the end. The crowd bit. They really wanted
Yeah.
her to win this match, right? And for a brief moment, I thought because AEW is good at having the hometown hero win their matches. I thought, is she actually gonna tap?
I know.
And there was that moment too where it almost looked like she did, and even the announcer was like, "Did she just tap?" Right? And she didn't.
No,
But and
you're
then
not.
she
You're
then
not.
she
You're not gonna tap out Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb doesn't
yeah.
tap out. You're gonna knock her out. You're gonna pin her, but she's not tapping out. And I think that's what they're building her up to now. So
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm sincerely hoping that that is in fact correct. No, so I actually enjoyed this match quite a
yeah,
bit, and so far we've got a whole string full of really good matches
yeah,
tonight.
yeah. Agreed.
Yep.
It's a good show.
Yep. So then we get into another promo backstage. We've got Jade Cargill with the baddies. Kira Hogan's fighting Chris Statlander, I guess. No one's worried about it. I think they left out the real phrase, no one cares. Um, they get mad at the interim baddie. Stokely says, no, no, trust me. And Kira says the interim baddie will never be a baddie.
Yeah. Again, one of these nonsense promos in the back that no one cares about. And the crowd doesn't even react to it, which is something telling AEW. Maybe you need to pivot a bit here. But yeah, no one cares about the storyline.
It's stupid. The
Yeah.
whole thing is stupid. The baddies are stupid. Jade Cargill is stupid. The whole thing is stupid. Can it please stop being on my TV screen? Thank you.
Agreed.
Yes.
Agreed.
And you know what's great about Death Before Dishonor? We're going to stop getting the Jay Lethal interruption
Oh
promos
my
every
god. So I
week.
went I went to the washroom quickly and came back and I was like, what is happening right now? Why are these
Mm-hmm.
three buffoons out here at
Yep.
the announce table?
Mm-hmm. Because they had to promote this match
Uh,
one more time.
again.
Mm-hmm.
Again. I'm like, okay, Tony Khan, please get Ring of Honor a TV deal or something. Put them on YouTube or something because I'm getting so tired of them interrupting Dynamite.
I don't mind the Wheeler Yuta Daniel Garcia
Yeah.
interruptions. Give me more of those. But the Jay Lethal with Sanjay Dutt and
Satnam saying
Satnam Singh, thank you. I'm tired of them. And I'm glad Death Before Dishonor is only a week and a bit away.
same.
Then we have Anna Jay in the back. Her leg is all messed up because of Serena Deeb, of course. And then Ty Conti comes in. She mocks Anna, and she tells her essentially that she needs to make better choices for her career.
This is an interesting one. I don't see Anna Jay leaving the Dark Order because this is Brody Lee's thing, right? And I don't see that happening after last week when they did the whole "we're all still together." I don't see Anna Jay leaving.
Mhm.
But yeah, I thought it was like an interesting because I was reading somewhere or I had seen that Ty actually hasn't wrestled in a very long time. She is just literally with Sammy. The thing here is that she is getting a lot more TV time with Sammy and the JAS, right? So that's kind of like and Ty actually makes that comment that hey, maybe if you made better choices, you'd have more TV time, right? Than this
Mhm.
one match you've had in months.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I don't know where they're going with the storyline, but hey, you know what? They're planting seeds. So
Yeah, I think it's just going to go to Ty Conti taking on Anna Jay in the
Anna Jay,
match. Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, it was fine. It was interesting. But then we move to 9:37, and it's time for your main event of the evening. We have Team Taz versus Swerve in Our Glory versus the Young Bucks. And of course, there was a sign at the beginning that I cannot help but have my heart agree with. The Bucks always win. But
I
we
read
get,
that sign too.
yeah, we get Matt Jackson versus Keith Lee to start the match, but Matt tags out very quickly after there's a Lee big kick that surprises him.
That kick was
It it
insane.
was it was absolutely
Oh,
nuts. Yeah, no,
oh
Keith Lee
my
can move.
goodness.
Then we get Swerve Strickland versus Nick. There's an Escalera that Swerve cartwheels out of. Another great exchange on the outside. Starks and Nick argue about this spot. Like so much happened in this match, it was hard to keep up with the notes. But then we got Starks and Nick. They're both arguing about who gets to walk on the top rope. They both walk out of the respective corners holding their guy, and then they both get hit by the guys they're holding. But it was funny. Then we get Matt versus Starks again. There's the locomotion Northern Lights sequence, but ends with one to Starks and Swerve together. Lee tags in, Hobbs and Lee suplex Matt. Lee tosses Starks and Nick. I mean, there's just so much going on in this match. Then Swerve and Lee get in. They do a bunch of double teams to Matt. Matt gets out, goes for a super kick, but Starks tags in. Hobbs and Starks then work over Swerve. There's an amazing drop kick by Starks, and he just God, the guy can get some height and stuff. He's almost at that Okada level. Um, they keep the pressure on during the commercial, but then Matt and Nick work on Swerve too. So Swerve at this point is being beaten down first by Hobbs and Starks, then by Matt and Nick. There's some amazing kip ups then with the Bucks and Swerve, like just this sequence of kip ups that ends in Swerve being able to like knock the Bucks down and make a hot tag to Lee. But then Starks charges in too. Lee absolutely cleans house. They try to get Lee on the outside, but he catches Nick, slam into Matt. Then you get Lee versus Nick. Now, I mean, it's just this match is nuts. Nick escapes the power bomb. Hobbs tags in. You get Hobbs versus Lee now. And this was interesting because they did that cross body collision. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, these guys can move too. It's not like the match suddenly slowed down.
Mm-hmm.
Like Lee goes for a suplex. Hobbs fights out, gets to the top rope, and then he does a frog splash. Maybe not the best frog splash I've ever seen, but not terrible. Nick tags in Lee. Hobbs tags Starks. Starks with a rope walk cutter off Hobbs' shoulder that was
That was
just
awesome.
nuts for a near fall. Then you get Swerve again versus Matt. There's a lariat to the face. Swerve dodges the super kick, but then Nick hits him, and the super kick party starts. You get a triple super kick to Lee with Starks. All three of them pose, including Starks doing his pose, but then the Bucks super kick Starks. The Bucks get their belts. So now Starks super kicks them. Swerve takes out Starks. Swerve gets the belt. Now he looks at Keith Lee while holding the belt. And while he's giving him this look with the belt, Matt low blows Starks and then nails everybody with the belts, covers Swerve, and it's a near fall. So they do the BT trigger to Swerve, and Starks breaks it up. And then they try the Meltzer bomb, but Lee interrupts the Meltzer bomb. So Matt then gets put into the Swerve stomp, but Hobbs and Starks break it up. Now Hobbs power bombs everybody in a
On
pile.
top, yeah.
Huge crowd reaction. Starks tags in, gets a roll on Swerve for a 2 count. Starks then spears him, but it's interrupted by Nick. Lee uses the Bucks essentially. The Bucks. Anyway, he takes out the Bucks. Lee tosses him. I'm like, what the heck did I even write there? Oh, this match was hard to keep up with. Swerve does a flip off Lee's chest to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
That was crazy too. He takes out the Bucks and Hobbs. Lee drops Starks, flip to the outside. And then Swerve does the stomp to Starks. 1, 2,
Two,
3.
three.
And we
Yeah.
have new
Yeah.
AEW Tag Team Champions, Swerve in Our Glory. And I sat there with my mouth open.
Yeah. This match, first of all, was absolutely fantastic. But wow, that I did not expect that finish, because you're right. When Swerve picked up the belt and was looking at Lee, and it looks like he was about to hit him, and then he stopped, and he looked at the belt, and he's like, no, he's gonna, like, he kind of points himself. He's like, I'm gonna do this, right? And he throws the belt, and that's where he gets like the low blow. Um, I thought, okay, you know what? At this point, this is where the Bucks are gonna win. This is where the Bucks are gonna win. But when Keith Lee did that flip and took everyone out, and then Starks is lying there,
Mm-hmm.
and Swerve gets to the top rope and does his stomp, I was like, "Are you?" I'm like, "Wait, no one's up.
Yeah.
No one's available to save him." And he counts to 3. I was like, "Holy crap! Swerve in Our Glory are the new AEW Tag Team Champions."
Yep.
And you know what? I can't be upset with this at all. This was an amazing match. This had everything you could want in a wrestling match. It had humor, storytelling, it had amazing, like, you had the athleticism from these guys. Was there any point, and I get it, it's a 6-man tag team. Was there any point where people were resting? Remember we talked about the blood and guts match where, like, everyone in the ring were dead at one point, right? Was there any point where these guys took a break? No. Like, this match went from, as we said, like, let's say 9:40, right? Because after the entrances and stuff, or not 9:40, she shouldn't say 9:40, like, they say 9:30. Went for a good half hour, and it was
9:37 exactly, by the
9:37.
way.
There you go.
Yes.
Like, nothing but near falls, counters, the saves, everything. Like, everyone was doing their moves. When I remember I said that Hobbs was the weakest link in this match, and watching him, first of all, he was doing those power bombs all on top of poor Keith Lee. Everyone just
Mm-hmm.
smashing on top of Keith Lee.
Yep.
And yeah, I know you had said that, the frog splash he did wasn't the greatest, but did you see the ground he covered? Like,
Yeah, that was
I was like, why is
nuts.
Keith Lee that far away from him, right? But he still practically hit him with it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thoroughly enjoy this match. Match of the night. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen a match this good. And at the end of the day, like, yeah, the Bucks didn't lose, but I'm not mad. I don't, like, this is an interesting like direction AEW is taking here, like giving like Swerve and Our Glory the championships. Like I don't know how long they're gonna hold it. Like that, let's be real about that. Maybe till the pay-per-view, probably they're gonna hold it. But this is interesting to me because now it's kind of like, okay, what do the Bucks do now? Right? Remember they became tag team champions. They had gotten out of that rut they were in and stuff like that. Remember they were like, oh, we were facing off the Hardys and blah 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 and Jungle Boy and stuff like that. But they ended up beating Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus, and they were now up from that rut and they were the top team again. What's next for the Young Bucks? Right? I'm very curious what Starks and Hobb, like I'm curious about all three of these tag teams. What's next for these guys? But fantastic match of the night easily, and yeah, we have new tag team champions.
It's my match of the night. It was great. There was lots of high flying action. It was a good story. I loved the match until the last 3 seconds. I'm not happy about the ending. The Bucks should not have lost their tag belts. I don't understand why they were taken off the Bucks so soon. They got to hold them for what? A month.
A month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great.
Well, we got to think about this, right? Look, we or you had already called the fact that the Bucks are going to win the first ever like all tag team championship, right? When they face off against FTR. You can't do that this early. So the Bucks still have time to win back their belts. Like I'm thinking probably beginning to not mid next year, but like the first quarter of next year. And then when we get back to, let's say, like a Forbidden Door kind of like event, something really, really big, right? That's when you have the unification, not even unification, like they become the belt collectors. They get all the tag team belts. They are the greatest tag team ever. We know they're the greatest tag team ever, right? But here's the thing, with great tag teams, sometimes, they put people over, and the Bucks are like this. This doesn't hurt the Bucks. This doesn't technically hurt Starks and Hobbs, and this pushes like Swerve and I keep saying Swerve in our direction, but Swerve in our glory to the moon. And we both of us said we love the way the Swerve and Lee wrestle. We love their tag team, like their double team moves. So yeah, if I can get more of that against some of the top tag teams, why not?
Thank you, Captain Logical. I'm so glad that you're so excited about Swerve in Our Glory having the tag team belts. What a great day for the AEW tag team division. Wow. Yeah, I suppose it's okay. Poor Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon Cutler was out there again. I forgot he was
Of
there.
course he was. He's part of the elite. But anyway. Yeah, it was match of the night. It was great. It was great. And there was lots of good moves.
What next is what I'm curious about.
Well, the Bucks will have to win it. See, the thing is, FTR is not holding 3 belts for a year, so
No,
that match has got to come sooner rather than later. So, I don't know. I'm just hoping the Bucks then squash Swerve in Our Glory next week, and
get their
maybe
belts
Fyter
back.
Fest Night too. They can get their belts
Get
back.
their belts
I'd
back.
be okay with that. Yeah, I don't care. It's okay. Swerve in Our Glory won the belts for 3 days. Yay! Give them back to the real champions. We all know the Bucks were robbed here. Okay, they weren't even pinned to get those titles, so no one actually
That's true.
beat the Bucks.
That's
The
true. They never
Bucks
lost it.
don't lose.
They never lost
Don't
it.
bet against the elite.
That's
They'll
right.
have those belts back soon. They were robbed. You wait, you wait.
They were. They were.
Robbed. Robbed. Yep. Well, that was Dynamite. Did anything on the show reach the Omega level?
It's hard because like I do want to give credit to like this last match. Like I had so much fun. I like with this match to the point where I'm thinking like maybe I'm being too harsh on some of these matches, saying that they're never going to reach Omega level because Kenny's not involved. But what was this match missing besides the Bucks
I
winning?
was about to say,
Yeah, yeah.
excuse me, what was the match missing?
What did this match really not have? It had everything. Everything that I love in wrestling matches. It had everything, right? Again, go back to the comedy and everything. Like as you said, those kip ups, like those flips and everything like that. Like, yeah, we talked about Wardlow and his little cartwheel he did at the to open up the show, but my God, the things that were being done in this match, and look this way, no, not one drop of blood, not one botch was in here, right? I love this match. I would go out on a limb and say this match reached Omega level.
Not quite. I'm not going to go that far because I thought for it to reach the Omega level to me, it's really got to have like really strong storytelling. This had good storytelling, but not Omega level
I feel
storytelling.
like you're waiting for Kenny Omega to come back, is what you're doing right now.
I'm telling you that this match is 4.5 stars.
4.5. Okay, okay.
4.5 because
Well, Omega level is six stars
right,
out of
this
the
is
five, right?
4.5 because the Bucks had an off night.
That's right. They, they did.
It can't be an Omega level match because the Bucks had an off night and it's only 4.5 stars. So it's just not possible. So although I think this match was extremely good, I would still not say that it's Omega level because I need
Fair.
that storytelling element. I think you and I have slightly different definitions of Omega level, and that's totally cool. Mine will always be that emphasis on I want to see that Omega style storytelling where like you're feeling the story between the two guys in the ring, like when you had Tanahashi and Omega at Wrestle Kingdom, right? I want to feel that Japanese tradition versus the Western upstart going to try to force change on Japan kind of thing, right? That's what I want, right?
Yeah, no, no, you're right. You're right. And like I think for me it's yeah, I do like some storytelling, but yeah, you're right. For to me, it's more it's more of the athleticism and like
Mm-hmm.
how crazy these things get. And I point out like there one thing is like give credit is like there was no need for blood. There was no blood in this match,
Absolutely not.
right?
I would question that most of the time we don't need blood at
You
all,
don't.
but AEW is for
I
everybody.
know. I
And
know.
some people love the blood, and that's fine. Some people love the big guys, and that's fine. Some people love Danhausen, and that's fine. Though I got to admit, the best place Danhausen's ever been is with the best friends.
That's right.
I'm
That's
actually
true.
enjoying Danhausen with them because he fits in as a ridiculous lawyer. We got our
Our
lawyer
lawyer
Dan.
Danhausen got us
Yeah.
managed.
Yes, but no, close to Omega level. No, but the best Dynamite in the last few weeks,
Yeah,
clearly. This
guarantee.
this beat Blood and Guts hand down.
Oh yeah, yeah. Blood and Ghost is nothing compared to
Yeah,
this.
easily. So with that, we get to our phrase that summarizes the evening.
I got one thing, Bill, and I'm gonna say it right now. Whose house? Swerve's house. Congratulations, Swerve in our glory, tag team champions. Swerve's house.
My phrase that summarizes the evening is I don't have a phrase. I can't think of anything. I'm too depressed. That's it.
I understand. I understand. I understand.
And I think on that note, it is time. And as the Great One always says, goodbye, everybody, and good night. Bang.
Swerve's house.